Hey divas, welcome to my channel, and 'tis the damn season. It's officially that special time of year where companies are starting to release their cute little winter slash holiday themed items. People are putting up their decorations, planning what they're going to buy people, and planning out the lists for themselves as well. For many people, this season is one of generosity, gratitude, and love. And for others, it's a season where you throw a temper tantrum because you weren't able to buy a $33 glass teddy bear cup at Starbucks. Let's talk about it. On November 6th, Starbucks dropped a new cup release, which was a 20-ounce little glass teddy bear cup, or I believe it was also called the Bearista cup, and obviously the internet went absolutely wild over this release. Many people were ecstatic over the idea of getting their hands on this adorable little piece of merchandise. So many people wanted this cup that on release day they camped outside of the Starbucks in hope of being one of the first customers in the building so that they might be able to purchase the aforementioned bear cup. In a lot of cases, however, people were left disappointed as even though they camped outside all night, there were no cups left for them in store by the time they finally were able to make their way inside. And a lot of people also noticed that a lot of the baristas themselves were buying the cups before customers had a chance to get their hands on them. Bear Cup almost immediately started causing a massive amount of outrage online, as people who happened to get the cup were flexing about how they got it, talking about the things they had to do in order to get it, and those who didn't were vastly disappointed and complaining about the time they devoted waiting for this cup that they never got the chance to get. And in the instances where the Starbucks baristas happened to purchase the cup first, this also caused a lot of hate to be directed towards the baristas, as a lot of people were saying they shouldn't have had first dibs, and they were being shamed for getting the cups when there was obviously a huge line of customers waiting for them just outside the doors. On the other hand, though, then there was a lot of people clapping back against those people, saying that the baristas did in fact deserve the cups, and it was the least they could get for having to deal with customers during this time, and that statement very much divided the internet, as many people were coming to the barista's defense and instead calling out the company itself for not releasing enough bear cups, knowing how big this release would be, and other people still decided to bash the baristas, saying there was no reason they should have been able to get them first and just buy them so coldly right in front of the windows. Either way, the internet was extremely focused on this damn bear cup, as a lot of people had a lot of things to say, and a lot of people were mad for one reason or another. So as I said, this cup was released on November 6th, and so by November 7th, a lot of videos were already circulating the internet, particularly TikTok. One of the first videos I saw was of a group of people standing outside of a Target waiting to get into the Target Starbucks, with the caption reading, "Why my mom left me this morning. Was it worth it?" And I honestly can't tell if this means like they were left there by their mom, or like the mom got tired of waiting for them and left, or that the video was the mom who left them. But regardless, here's the video.
Good morning, guys. Please walk, single file line, stay in order. All Hello Kitties and bears, please grab from the register first.
Oh,
Okay, fair. Form a line and do not grab it from there.
don't grab it from there.
We'll let you know when you can. One bear? Yeah. 33.
As soon as the doors open, people rush in, and you can hear the employees reminding these people to walk in a single file line as if they're kindergartners, with a limit of 1 cup per person, and telling people that they have to buy them from the register first. I'm assuming to prevent people from literally fighting over the ones that might be otherwise placed in the store. I do think it's funny that even in this first video, I noticed the person being filmed had a blanket in their hand, like they'd clearly been camping out, waiting for this cup, and they were very pleased because they got one. And camping out for releases like this isn't in any means a new thing. A lot of the shopping frenzy started because of Black Friday, which obviously has been a big thing for several years. It actually started a little bit in the 1940s during Franklin Roosevelt's presidency, and it was introduced to commemorate the start of the holiday shopping, and the name Black Friday was originally derived from the black ink that was used on the handwritten ledgers to denote the prices for the holiday sales. However, it really wasn't until the 1980s and 90s that Black Friday shopping became an even bigger and more extreme thing, and this really marked the start of the intense shopping frenzies where people were literally wait outside of the doors and stampede in once they opened. And in 2003, Black Friday was known as the busiest shopping day of the year. Over the recent years, Black Friday has definitely changed a lot, and it's evolved from really just one huge day of holiday sales, and instead it's kind of become kind of the whole week leading up to Black Friday. You can find sales and promotions and whatnot, and even a little bit after, like there's Cyber Monday and stuff, and the internet has really heightened things, and it's made shopping in stores a little less common, but there are definitely still a lot of people who do a little bit of Black Friday shopping, and obviously instances like this Starbucks cup release show that there are still a lot of people who are willing to camp outside of stores to get a product that they very much want. Me personally, I've never been a huge fan of Black Friday. I've only went Black Friday shopping once with my mom when I was a child, and it wasn't too traumatic of an experience. Really, the only thing I dealt with was long lines, but some videos on the internet truly are horrific. And obviously now it is more than just a Black Friday thing. There's sales for various different things, but I really do feel like Black Friday is what kind of heightened all of this, and like it's caused people to do bigger sales like this multiple times throughout the year. And now any big and hit item will bring in a lot of people of its respective crowd when it's released. Things like this even go back to like when Cabbage Patch dolls were released. There's a video I've seen all over TikTok of a woman proudly holding up a doll boasting, I got my doll, I got my doll, and another woman yelling at her for literally taking it out of a child's hands.
A full-grown woman taking a doll out of a child's hand? Got my doll! I got my doll!
And there's been several references to these extreme deals all over various different types of media. I've seen references to it on shows like The Nanny, Full House. Victorious is a big one for me. I think about Wanko's Warehouse frequently. There's even a horror movie that has a brutal Black Friday theme called Thanksgiving from 2023. So point being, this shopping frenzy really is nothing entirely new, but it is kind of crazy that in the Big 25 people can still have this behavior regarding items like this. Me personally, I cease to see what the thrill can be in literally fighting people for an item. I can understand maybe the thrill of the long lines and just waiting to get your hands on something, but I can't understand the thrill of literally like shoving people out of the way, fist fighting, snatching it from other people, genuinely risking your life for the sake of getting an item in your hands. But we got a little off track there, moving back to the specific cup. In response to the first video I showed, people were obviously calling out this behavior, with one person saying, these are adults being told to walk in a single file line over cups, and another saying, who pays $33 for a teddy bear cup that looks like it's for a toddler? Only Starbucks can get a frenzy going and make you pay $33 for it like it's some deal. Although I do disagree, a lot of companies have gotten people very excited over products that are probably worse than this, but it definitely is strange nonetheless. Also, pretty soon after the Bear Cup's launch, people started posting about the intensity of getting one, with one person posting a broken cup at the result of a supposed brawl, and one person triumphantly showing off her cup with the caption, 4 Starbucks, 3 hours, 2 fistfights, and 1 Bearista later. And the sad thing is, I really can't tell how much of this, if any of it, is a joke, because people have shown that they genuinely will and have fought for this cup. Quickly on, people also started to pick up on the fact that a lot of Starbucks didn't have a very large stock of this cup, and that obviously enraged a lot of people. I guess they also did some sort of Hello Kitty release around the same time that was also sold out relatively quickly, which also upset a lot of people who were going for maybe one of each or something. But we're mainly focused on the stupid bear here. And this is when the new complaint really started to come to light, as people were filming the baristas through the window, showcasing them buying the cups as they waited outside, and then got into the store to find out that there was really hardly any left for them. One woman posted a video talking about her frustration regarding the incident.
Hey, so who else is pissed off that they woke up at the ass crack of dawn just to find out that all the Starbucks they went to this morning to look for the holiday cups were sold out, but really were probably bought by all the employees?
And similarly, another woman came forward to say, "Unfortunately, I am one of the crazy people that woke up at 4 a.m. for a glass bear cup from Starbucks, that I then proceeded to watch the baristas buying them through the window while waiting outside for Starbucks to open." People even began complaining directly to Starbucks on Starbucks' TikTok account, where they had been posting and advertising about the bear cup, obviously calling them out for this, with some people saying, "Should have just sent them to Starbucks employees as Christmas gifts at this point." Or another who said, "So I watched the employees buy all the cups while I waited outside for hours and got nothing." And another said, "Each store just got enough for their workers to claim them, lol." Now, here's my opinion on the employees getting them. Would I be a little bit salty if I waited hours for something only to see the employees buy the very few that were in stock? Absolutely, but I also wouldn't be waiting outside for hours for a cup. Still, I did try and put this into perspective and compare this to something that I liked. So I was thinking, well, if I was at like the croc store or something waiting on a croc release and I saw the employees buy the last ones and I saw the employees buy them and then I got in the store and I couldn't get them, would I be upset? And yes, I would be a bit disappointed. But at the same time, I don't think that the blame should be laid on the employees, instead on the company who allowed it. I personally think that they should have done like a pre-order or something for the employees, so they could have ordered cups for the employees to have, and then all of the ones that were sent to the store could be in stock for the customers to purchase. That way the employees could have gotten them, and there would have been less commotion regarding all of that when the customers saw the employees buying them. But also the thing is, there was going to be no winning either way, because the fact of the matter is that the company simply just didn't send enough cups for each store to have a decent amount in stock. Before I talk about this too much further, I did just want to give an update and say I guess Starbucks did release an apology in which they essentially said that they sent a lot of merchandise out, but it just sold out much quicker than they intended, and that they're sorry for any disappointment this caused. I don't know. I still think it's on the company though, because I definitely feel like they could have sent more than one or two cups to each store or done things differently, but I did just want to point out that they did technically issue an apology. And I also do have to take into account the employees' perspectives, which, by the way, they didn't just take the cups, they had to purchase them themselves as well. And I would be very disappointed if I worked my ass off at this place, dealt with shitty and insufferable customers, and then at the very least, I couldn't get a cute little bear cup out of it, you know what I mean? I would be very disappointed to have to sell the very few. And so I definitely do think that this is on the company for simply not doing enough. Another comment on Starbucks video said, "You better be restocking these, because why is every store saying we only got one and don't know if more are coming? Why this massive campaign for a product that is technically not even going to be available? You see the demand is there. Why so stingy?" And I agree completely. And they very clearly also could have made more of these cups, and they could have made a huge profit for it. It's clear that there was a lot of people who were willing to buy them. They could have had a huge profit, but instead, no, they had to just make a few, which I do think was very deliberate. I think they made a few so it's more of a rare item. It'll make people more inclined to want to buy it and want to spend $33 on it, and it'll make it more of a rare, cool find that people can boast about having. But at the same time, the company who makes these products are not the same people who are standing behind the counter, who have to deal with the customer backlash of not having them. And they're also not the people who are waiting in line in hopes of getting something that they simply don't get. Not everyone who was waiting in line was like vicious about this. A lot of them were just excited and then, of course, disappointed. And so Starbucks just really didn't take into consideration anyone else except themselves and what profit they could make from the few releases that they had. I think they also somewhat knew that this would aggravate customers and turn them against the employees in an already busy and hectic season in a time where the employees are already struggling. A lot of them are on strike now, as far as I'm aware. And of course, the typical customer service backlash. They knew what they were doing when they allowed employees to be able to purchase these items and then also only sent a few items to be purchased. This would cause a war, and I believe a part of them had to know that that was going to happen. On the video of the first woman complaining, a lot of people did come to the barista's defense. One saying, "It's one of the perks of working for Starbucks. You're more than welcome to apply and throw an apron on and help out during a holiday launch, boo. And are you really upset that the employees got these cups, or are you upset that Starbucks created another toxic consumerism situation? The employees are paying just like you. It's not their fault they have to be at work. This is a corporate ordeal, per usual." And another said, "My store got one bear cup. One. It's also a perk of working at places like Starbucks or other retail stores that you get first dibs on merch as long as it's done on a break or before or after your shift." So yes, I would have been a little bit disappointed that they were getting them. Like, God forbid they just want a little sliver of positivity in a stressful time. Also, I think it's perfectly valid and normal to be disappointed that you weren't able to purchase something that you want. But what is not normal is fighting, genuinely fighting, throwing tantrums and breaking things over not getting it, especially something like this. Like, it's a cup. Yes, it's cute, but it's a little 20-ounce cup. You can truly find better products that are just as cute elsewhere. People have been posting them. They make a dupe on Amazon that's essentially the same thing, just without the Starbucks logo. A lot of people have been using honey jars or animal cracker jars, DIYing their own. Some even showcasing like Dollar Tree cups that were just as cute. Like, you can find cute little holiday cups other places if you take the initiative to seek them out. And I get that some people want the cool brand name, but in retrospect, like, it truly is just a cup. And it's valid to be disappointed, but you should not be crashing out that hard over a cup. And this isn't just with the cup, it's with any company selling a product like this. People should not be fighting each other over a bag or a cup or a doll or anything of that nature. How can the desperation for an object truly be that strong? Some people did try and justify the shopping by just saying, "Oh, well, you just don't know the thrill of Black Friday shopping. Like, this is just what this is." And I'm sure for some people it was. Like I said, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with, like, camping out and getting that excitement. But what makes it so terrible is the way that people will behave over it. Like, the way they were rushing into that store, the way they had to be told to walk in a single file line, the way that they were truly ready to throw hands over this cup. That's where it becomes an issue. And that is what makes sales like this and releases like this so truly terrifying. And like, I'm sorry, what is fun about beating people up? Unless you want to join the MMA or something or watch like fighting as a sport, what is the thrill of like beating people up, especially over something as non-important as a cup? And I once again tried to put this into perspective of me and how I would feel. So for example, there was recently a release on National Croc Day where they released these knee-high boots with the fur. I was very excited about it. I wanted to purchase them, but when I got online to purchase them, they'd sold out in my size within minutes and I was unable to get them. Was I disappointed? Absolutely. And did I rant to my friend about my disappointment? Also, absolutely. But the difference is, did I call the store and complain? Did I throw a tantrum over it? And did I break things over it? No, no, and no. Because I can be rational and understand that sometimes that shit happens. Do I wish companies made more of the product knowing it's going to be a hit release? Of course I do, but it's also not the end of the world if I can't get something like that. But that is really just my say on this topic. As I said, I feel like people shouldn't be blaming the employees, but rather the corporation, because they knew what they were doing, and they also definitely had to have had the capabilities to produce more. Also, I do think it's ironic that this is what's ending the boycott against Target, or Target and Starbucks, I guess, but mainly Starbucks for a lot of people, is And obviously, I know the people that are really boycotting are still boycotting, and it's not up to me to dive into the boycott. And it's up to each people to decide where their morals and ethics lie and what they choose to support or not support. But I do think it's ironic. Had people posted at Starbucks several weeks before this, all the comments would have been, "Ooh, we don't go to Starbucks, no ma'am." But yet, because of the Bear Cup, I didn't really see a lot of comments like that. Instead, everything was directed to either being angry at Starbucks, angry at the baristas, angry at each other. Really just anger, but not so much boycott, you know? And obviously, I'm sure the people who are racing to get the Bear Cup aren't necessarily ones who are boycotting in the first place, but I do think it's ironic that the whole thing kind of did distract from what people were doing, which also might be a little bit deliberate. Give people something else to focus on, and then maybe they'll forget what they were supposed to be focusing on in the first place, if that makes sense. There's definitely a lot of deliberation behind it, and I don't like it. But, like, why do people keep feeding into these companies that are treating their employees like trash and deliberately seem to pin people against each other? But that truly is all I have to say on this topic. Except with Thanksgiving coming up, I think the day this is being posted, and Black Friday, obviously. Of course, everyone be safe and maybe don't get into a fist fight over an object that will probably be back on the shelves in a couple of months. Don't steal toys from children, and let's not hurt other people over objects. So if any of y'all have ever gone Black Friday shopping, please let me know your experiences. Was it as chaotic as a lot of the media showcases, or was it pretty chill, or what were you going for? I'm genuinely curious. But that is all for this video. I hope everyone has a good Thanksgiving to those who celebrate, and I'll see y'all in my next video.